president of Tulkoff Food Products, which is a family company, been in the business for over 90 years. They have four locations: South Carolina, Georgia, Oregon, and Tennessee. And here is Phil's question.
For my firm, the current tariffs add up to almost $60,000 in monthly additional costs for my operations. Lifting these tariffs would help us speed the recovery for many of us by allowing those funds to be used to hire workers, invest in equipment, and recoup some of the cash we've spent to weather the current economic situation. Would you consider permanently or even temporarily reducing or eliminating those tariffs?
So, Phil, we're looking at different things, but you have to remember, I've taken those tariffs and given a lot of them to the farmers, and farmers that would have been really forced out of business by China when they were targeted, because China never had to target us, because China was ripping our country off. We were losing $500 billion a year to China for years, and $300 billion, $200 billion, $544 billion, $544 billion a few years ago. And what I'm doing is, and what I've done is taken a lot of money out of China, and I've given it back to Phil and other people, because I've given it back to not all of it, because we had so much money came in from China. But we gave, as I said, $12 billion 2 years ago, $16 billion, and this year we have $19 billion that we're distributing to the farmers. Nobody's ever done that. No president's ever done that.
But Phil is obviously bringing in supplies from China that he's paying tariffs on. Would you encourage him to try to find other countries to buy those things from?
He is, but you know what they're also getting? They're getting big payments. The farmers are getting big payments. And by the way, they are the most incredible people. They don't even want the payments. You know what they say to me? Something that almost no other group, and I can say practically no other group, they want a level playing field. We had a meeting with them, with Mike, and they came in and I said, we're going to give you this. They said, sir, honestly, we don't want anything. We just want a level playing field. Because for 18 years, really, it's longer than that, they've been taken advantage of, not only by China, by everybody, including Canada, including many, many countries that you wouldn't even think. So the farmers now, with the new USMCA and all of the other things, and as far as Phil, I understand it, but we're giving billions and billions of that money to the farmers, and have a lot of money that goes back into the Treasury, and Steve is the proud recipient from the standpoint of the Treasury.
But are you considering new tariffs on China as sort of a punishment for their handling of the virus?
Well, it's the ultimate punishment. I will tell you that. I don't.
You had experts look at.
Again, I don't like to tell you what because you know we're all playing a very complicated game of chess or poker. Name whatever you want to name, but it's not checkers. That I can tell you. We have a very complicated game going. Our country was being ripped off by every nation in the world, and now we have made unbelievable strides. Unfortunately, then we get hit by this whole situation. But we have done so well. We have taken in so much money. Going before the virus, China had the worst year they had in 67 years. That's the reason. And I'm not happy about that, but what it does is it says, they were taking us for a ride.
Right, but to Phil's point is that Americans
has ever done at any time.
He's saying Americans feel it. Experts said just your mention of that helped drive the markets down Thursday and Friday. But I'm just wondering if you're really seriously thinking about it.
Tariffs at a minimum are the greatest negotiating tool that we have ever devised that were never used for negotiation. President Xi only made the deal with us. They're going to buy $250 billion. Now, we're going to have to see what's going on because of what happened. This was done, months before the virus. But we're going to buy $250 billion worth of our product. $250 billion. They didn't buy 2 cents. They didn't want to buy from us. They took advantage of our country. Now they have to buy. And if they don't buy, we'll terminate the deal. Very simple. But by using the tariffs, that's the only reason. The one thing that he said, we must get rid of tariffs. He said, we're not going to get rid of tariffs. You got to treat our country with respect. You've been ripping off our country for many years. The World Trade Organization has ripped off this country. That's when China became an economic power. And by the way, you have World Trade and you have World Health. The World Health Organization has been a disaster. Everything they said was wrong, and they're China-centric. All they do is they agree with China, whatever China wants to do. So our country, perhaps foolishly in retrospect, has been paying $450 million a year to the World Health Organization. And China has been paying $38 million a year. But they were more political than all of our leaders previous. So we'll see what I do with that. I'm going to have to make a decision on that. But we're not happy because what they did, what World Health did, they missed every single call
There's a question to
put
that.
up with it.
Yeah.